Hello. This is the Tradesight U.S. Stocks Futures and Forex Market Preview for the week beginning Sunday, the 26th of September, 2021, ending Friday, the 1st of October. As we enter the last quarter of 2021 already. Crazy. Here's a look at the dollar index daily chart. Dead flat all week, but it's a cup and handle forming. We'll see if that leads to a breakout. And if it does, that's a big money-making opportunity for Forex players. So we'll talk about that later. Look at the daily charts. Euro dollar, pretty much the inverse of the dollar index, the inverted cup and handle. Pound dollar, not much here. It's been flat, but a breakdown under that 35.75 level would be amazing. Aussie dollar, very flat all week. You'll see that in the intra-week action in a minute. Euro yen bounced a little bit. Pound yen bounced a little bit. All right, so that's the daily chart. So let's go to the intra-week charts, 30-minute candles. So the euro dollar high to low for the whole week, 70 pips. That's untradeable. We're still in summer for the euro dollar pair. Pound dollar called 150 pips. It's not much better. That's usually 130 pips is average daily range on the pound dollar, so this is not good. And it's untradeable except for Thursday, which Wednesday was the Fed announcement, so it is what it is. When you look at the Aussie, you're not going to find too much else. Aussie, we're talking about here. This is horrible. 90 pips of range for the whole week. I mean, you can't do anything with that. Euro yen, okay. 180 pips. And pound yen, whatever. 250, but there's a 13 sell signal right at the highs, and that was it. So I don't want to get wrapped up in some of this, but it's just been, we're still in summer months as far as I'm concerned for Forex. We don't want to get heavy on our trading here, and we'll move forward. All right, and then here's the ES front month futures contract. This is the daily chart of the broad market and futures forum. And look, we broke the trend line we've been under or on for months, years. This week, we broke it. We came back up. We're retesting it right now. So the thing you got to keep in mind is, even if we go higher, but we stay under the line, and I can't show it to you here, but you can get the idea. Like, look at the trend line where it would be if we then roll over. When we break the lows of 4,300, that's going to be the big problem. And we're at the time of year where that happens, and that's not going to be good. So I don't want to get into all that right now, but let's just focus on the fact that none of this looks good from the upside perspective, and hasn't since, look, we're right where we were in July. There's nothing else to look at. All right, crude oil up 65 cents to 73.95. Summer's ending. That should dwindle soon. Gold up 80 cents, but nowhere near highs, so that's fine. S&P cash index up $6, 6 points a day. So again, same thing, broke that trend line. NASDAQ 100, this thing has never been quite as exciting as the S&P, but it's the same thing going on, and it's a mess. So just be aware of that. When you look at the weekly chart, okay, when you look at the monthly chart, we're getting there, right? And if you look at the monthly chart of the S&P cash index, yeah, that's where we're at. And the weekly chart says what? Right, nothing super exciting. But we have problems, I think. We're extended, obviously, and it is what it is. All right. Stocks down 3 points on Friday, down 3.5 points just off the highs. Biotech's down 101. That's not good, but still not near the highs anyways. Russell 2000 down 11 points basically. This thing has been so flat all year. This is a big problem, I mean, for the real market, because none of the new up-and-coming companies can get anywhere with that. Dow up 33, nobody cares. TLT, the 20-year bond ETF, down $1.45. 2 days of sell-off, 3 days of sell-off there, right? Is what it is. Advanced decline ratio on the New York, negative 620, so more stocks were down than up. On the NASDAQ, negative 590, so more stocks were down than up. It's bounced a little bit in prior days, but sold off a little bit the last two. So again, just keep in mind, even though we got positive closes, we got negative advanced decline ratios, and you're doing that against testing the line we were on, the trend line we were on. This is not pretty. Trend closes at 0.81, puts the 10-day at 1.08. Doesn't really matter. NASDAQ volume 4 billion shares, a little light basically compared to where we've been. VIX closes at 0.8. Sorry. Ignore my co-workers in the background. VIX closes at 17.75. Apple up 9 cents. That's nothing. Amazon up 9.52, but it's nowhere near the highs at this point. Facebook up 7. It's fine. Big decline though prior to this. Google gains 19.98. It's fine. Goldman Sachs was down $1 and a penny. No problem there. Netflix down 87 cents. Nobody cares. That's a blip on a $600 stock. Tesla down up 20.75. Breaks out to new highs. Zoom, we made some money on that today, down $3.83 on the short side. Very important cup, an inverted cup here, and it's not pretty. Bitcoin's down to 43,000 and change. It's been to 40,000 the last week. If it bounces one more time, it might actually get a sell signal here, so just be aware of that, because we had the buy signal back in July, and it ran. We might get a sell signal here still, so we'll see what happens. All right, in terms of intraday action, here's the, let's go to 10-minute candle so we can see the whole week. Here's what we've got. ES, so we gapped down Monday, went lower, got a 13 buy signal on a 10-minute chart, bounced a little bit late in the day. Okay, no problem. Gapped up Tuesday, came back, filled the gap, and closed basically flat for the day. Gapped up small Wednesday, closed and still hadn't filled the gap from last Friday, but we were close to it. And then Thursday gapped up, filled the gap from last Friday, went higher, came back. Remember, the Fed announcement was Wednesday. Friday, very dead. So it's just, it is what it is. We're still not seeing the action. We started to see it, but we made some money on the downside, and that's where the money is, but we also had some PXD and some other stuff this week. So that's all good, but we have to focus on the fact that, you know, we'll see what the market does, but if we roll and break in the next week or two or three, this is the time of year where everything goes negative, right? So we'll see what happens. Charts, as usual, brought to you by eSignal. Oh, sorry. We have to do the economic calendar at this point, too, for the week ahead. So let me go here and show you, and then change. Right, I gotta change the calendar to the week ahead. Okay, so Sunday, daylight saving time in New Zealand. So remember, U.S. doesn't do that until the end of October, so we still got some time for that. But it's going to shift a little bit about the matchup in Forex. Japan has the SPPI. We got money supply and private loans out of Europe. We got German BUBA monthly report. Durable goods here in the U.S. at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time on Monday. Monetary policy minute meetings out of Japan Monday night. Retail sales out of Australia. Bank of Japan core CPI. German JFK consumer climate. GFK. 30-year bond auction out of the UK. Goods trade balance and preliminary wholesale inventories here in the U.S. Housing price index at 9 a.m. on Tuesday here in the U.S. Consumer confidence, Richmond manufacturing index at 10 a.m. here. Then you jump to the evening. There's a few minor numbers. None of them really matter. Now we're into Wednesday. German import prices at 2 a.m. Eastern time. Spanish flash CPI, Credit Suisse economic expectations. 10-year bond auctions out of Italy and Germany. Nobody cares. IPPI and RMPI out of Canada Wednesdays morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern time. Swiss National Bank quarterly bulletin. We've got the pending home sales here in the U.S. Crude oil inventories at 10:30 here in the U.S. Building consents, preliminary industrial production out of Japan and retail sales out of Japan. Manufacturing PMI and out of China. Building approvals out of Australia. Caxton manufacturing PMI out of China. And then we're into Thursday. Housing starts out of Japan. Current account out of the UK along with their final GDP. French consumer spending and preliminary CPI. German unemployment change. Italian monthly unemployment rate. Unemployment rate out of Europe as a whole at 5 a.m. Eastern time on Thursday. And then you've got the final GDP. That's the last look, so it doesn't really matter. along with the initial and continuing jobless claims here in the U.S. Chicago PMI at 945, natty gas at 1030. Japan has their unemployment rate. Bank of Japan Summary of Opinions, Tankan Manufacturing Index, and their non-manufacturing index, 7:50 p.m. Eastern Time, Thursday night. China goes to bank holiday for the end of the week. We've got consumer confidence out of Japan, retail sales out of Germany. Australia's got their commodity prices. Spanish, all the Swiss, Italian, French, German, broad European, UK, final manufacturing PMI numbers overnight going into Friday. CPI out of Europe, GDP out of Canada, core PCE price index and personal income and spending at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time on Friday here in the U.S. Manufacturing PMI out of Canada, same out of here in the U.S. at 9:45 and 10. ISM and final. Revised University of Michigan sentiment, construction spending, and then we have Australia's daylight savings time. So they're not even on the same boat anymore with New Zealand. But we won't see most of that out of Europe and everybody else until 3 or 4 weeks from now. Charts as usual brought to you by eSignal. If you've not yet taken a trial of our services, feel free to do so. We will help you out for a couple weeks. Have a great trading week.